In our previous video of Trump's regime change strategy last week, we looked at how USA took over the Venezuelan oil exports as a part of Trump's ongoing regime change spree. The link to part 1 of Trump's regime change playbook is given below in the description. Please do watch it. In this video, we look at China, the country which is said to be the worst affected from the regime change strategy of the US apart from Venezuela itself. Also, at the end of the video, we'll have a short glimpse at Trump's next target, the Greenland. Hi, hello, vanakkam, namaskar. Welcome to POV World from Bharat YouTube channel, World Through Bharat's Lens. Venezuela is a Latin American country which is an oil powerhouse, and it also holds the world's largest proven crude oil reserves, which is estimated at 303 billion barrels as of 2023. Despite being home to the vast crude oil reserves, Venezuela has been politically unstable since the early 2000s. By 2018, the hyperinflation in the country touched its peak of around 1 million% in 2018. Yes, you heard it right. The inflation rate in Venezuela was 1 million%. And just a comparison, India's worst inflation rate in history was just 28% during the 1970s. And today, our inflation rate is being maintained well below 2%. For starters, inflation is the rate at which the general prices for goods and services in a country rise over time, meaning our currency buys less than it used to do. Now we can only imagine why the oil-rich Latin American nation of Venezuela has been so vulnerable. Coming back to the topic, now let's have a brief look at the relationship between Venezuela and China. At the dawn of the 21st century, when Venezuela began drifting away from the United States, China quietly stepped in. What started in the early 2000s as oil for cash cooperation soon became a strategic partnership of survival for Venezuela. An arrangement was made between Venezuela and China where Venezuela received billions of dollars upfront from China as a loan, and the repayment to China was made through oil shipments and not cash. And also, the Chinese contracts locked Venezuela into long-term supply commitments to China. By 2013, China had lent Venezuela over a 50 billion US dollars, making it Beijing's largest borrower in Latin America. For a hyperinflated Venezuela, this meant immediate relief without IMF-style conditions. For China, though, it meant secure oil access and energy security and political leverage in return. A classic Chinese style of helping hands. After 2014, US sanctions on Venezuela intensified due to human rights concerns and democratic backsliding. Funds from the Western world dried up almost overnight in Venezuela. Back then, China became Venezuela's only economic shock absorber. China continued its oil purchases from Venezuela when other nations stopped them due to sanctions. And China also gave technology support in telecom and surveillance sectors. And not only that, China invested heavily in infrastructure projects in power, housing, and transport. Apart from these helps, China has been opposing regime change efforts in Venezuela from the US and also criticized US sanctions in addition to supporting Venezuela in international forums too. In simple words, China's involvement in Venezuela is less about ideology and more about geopolitical signaling. One, it demonstrates China's ability to challenge US influence in the Western Hemisphere. Two, it secures long-term access to energy and strategic resources in Venezuela. And three, this also strengthens China's image as an alternative to Western systems. But today, after US took control of Venezuelan oil exports, China is literally staring at its biggest overseas lending shock. Venezuela is a modest supplier of crude oil to China. 768,000 barrels per day went to China last year, which accounts for about 3% of China's total crude oil imports. After Trump's takeover of Venezuela, China's oil supplies are under threat now and is set to face an energy shock. A complete halt of Venezuelan oil to China could mean three things. Number one, the repayment of loans to China in terms of oil stops. Even after years of repayments, Venezuela still owes China an estimated 10 billion US dollars to around 90 billion US dollars that has not been repaid yet. This outstanding portion could become irrecoverable if Venezuelan oil stops flowing. Number two, though Venezuelan oil was a small share of China's total crude imports, it was often heavily discounted and targeted to specialized Chinese refineries. If Venezuelan oil stops completely, Chinese investments in these specialized refineries would go literally worthless. And number three, strategically, Venezuela was meant to showcase China's ability to challenge US influence in Latin America. With US taking over Venezuela, China is set to lose its stronghold in Latin America. On paper, Venezuela's oil collapse looks too small to hurt a big country like China. But in reality, it hits China at the worst possible time when the Chinese economy is already under pressure on multiple fronts. China's economy is already under pressure with a slowing GDP growth of approximately 4%, which is down from 6+% during pre-COVID times. Chinese property sector is also facing a severe debt crisis with major real estate firms like Evergrande defaulting on their loans every now and then. The US tariffs and global economic slowdown are also adding to the woes of economy of China. In such an environment, even small external losses to China matter more. A 10 to 19 billion US dollars loan write-off may be tiny compared to China's big GDP, but it finally lands on government-linked banks and state oil companies. Bottom line, Venezuela is not the cause of China's economic slowdown, but it adds weight to an already sinking ship. Finally, we'll go back to Trump's regime change playbook. After the successful Operation Absolute Resolve that captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Donald Trump, the president of US, is now focusing on acquiring Greenland. Greenland is a former territory of Denmark since 1953 and is subject to the Danish constitution. The USA has long seen Greenland as vital for the defense of its mainland, and now under Trump administration, the US is exploring options sincerely to acquire Greenland for its national security. Denmark and the European Union have been displaying their resistance to this move from Trump. But will they be strong enough to resist Trump really? We'll have to wait and watch. Also, a regime change in Iran, another oil-rich nation similar to Venezuela, seems to be on cards too. When the US pushes regime change in one country, the shock waves don't stop there. It affects the entire world. Bharat feels it too. A government falls somewhere else, oil supply gets disrupted, and fuel prices rise at home. For India, that means costlier petrol, higher transport charges, and more expensive food. When global markets turn unstable, foreign investors pull money out of India, then the rupee weakens again. In simple words, regime change may look like an American problem, but Bharat too pays a part of that bill. Because for developing countries like India, peace abroad means affordability at home.